Hey, what is up, everybody? George Zimney here, president of Zeal Financial Group. Welcome to episode 2 of Zeal TV. So let's kick it off as we always do and we always will. Z-E-A-L. Say it with me. Z is for zealous and intense, intensity and passion for life and achievement. That's what we are. E stands for energy. We put a positive energy in the lives of others daily. A is for action. We don't talk about what we're going to do or get or become. We do it. We become it. We get the result. We are an action-oriented agency. And L is for leadership. We are people on a mission to develop leaders. And that's who we are, Z-E-A-L. So here we go. Let's kick it off as we always do with some recognition. There's so much going on, so much to recognize the amazing accomplishments of those that are in the field, in the recruiting and interview room, doing the deal daily and weekly. So we're going to look at last week's recognition. 2 weeks ago, or last week, we looked at, in episode 1, we looked at the last month, the year, and so now we're going to break it down the next few weeks, looking at the prior week and the amazing accomplishments and progress of those that are doing this. So let's first recognize our first time ever producers, our new representatives, the future lifeblood of our organization. Number 1, Curtis Tillman. Welcome to the company. Curtis wrote business last week, recruited by Brian Brickhouse. We've got Linda Bray over on the Kansas side, recruited by Kevin Stanfield. Linda, congrats on getting your first families protected. And Alex Acklin out of the Columbia office, recruited by Ryan Drysdale. Alex, welcome to our company and to our Zeal family. We're excited that you're now protecting families and generating an income for your family as well. So those were our 3 brand new, first time ever producing representatives. Next, let's recognize personal sales. We're going the top 5 this week. The number 5 spot wrote more business last week than anybody else in all of Zeal was brand new representative Linda Bray. Finished the week at 4,596. Linda just under a green out. Well done. The number 4 spot, I hated to put my name in there, but I'm transparency and honesty. I actually personally took the number 4 spot, produced 5,112 in premium. Moving on from me, I don't really care about me. Let's talk about Andrew Meyer, carries the number 3 spot at 5,423 in net premium. The number 2 spot is Janelle Stanfield. Janelle, you love that number too. She loves that number too at 8,138. And the number 1 producer last week, get this, big drum roll for this guy, almost brand new representative Andy Drysdale, just under an eagle, 9,623 in production last week. Way to go, Andy, man. You are rocking it out. Keep it up, my friend. All right, let's recognize the top 3 teams. Number 3 team, coming in at the number 3 spot last week, was Lisa Keating's team at 8,657 of team production. Number 2, Kevin Stanfield's team at 19,360. Kevin, great job, man, leading a team of just under 20K last week. And the number 1 team, this guy is leading the way all year. Ryan Drysdale, 21,600 in premium last week. Great job, Focus. Great job, Drysdale. I'm curious to see if anybody's going to knock him off. Who can knock off Drysdale? It's definitely possible. I want to go back one thing. I just want to help you all to understand what Andy Drysdale did in 1 week. He's only been here about, I think it's been 22 or 23 days now, somewhere around there. Andy Drysdale's income last week, folks, from that 1 week of selling, and again, he was pounding the doors, shaking the hands, collecting the referrals, doing the cold calls, working the hours, making the sacrifice, making the commitment, and following through. Andy Drysdale's income, let me break it down for you. So Andy earned in first year earnings, he'll be taxed on. He'll be able to put in his pocket, and it will hit his account this Friday, over $3,000 he earned last week. Think about that. A lot of you have never earned $3,000 in a month. This guy just started his career fresh, made $3,000 last week in first year cash flow and earnings. And then if you run the multiplier on what he'll be paid in future renewal income, because all that business that he put on the books last week will pay the company next month, and the following year, etc., etc. If you run it off at the average persistency, he'll earn an additional $2,000 in renewal income. Put those two numbers together. What Andy Drysdale will earn in the lifetime cash that will be paid to him, the cash runoff from that 1 week of selling, over $5,000 in lifetime earnings. That's not including any monthly bonus that he's going to earn from the contribution of that week into this working month of August. $5,000 in 1 week. Folks, multiply that over a 4-week month. Again, this guy just started. If he does that every week over a 4-week month, that's lifetime earnings in a month of over $20,000, over $12,000 of that paid to him up front from 1 month of work. Look at that. That's incredible. Andy, way to lead the way. And I tell you that. Why am I telling you that? Am I trying to build Andy up? Yeah, that's part of it. He needs the kudos. He deserves. He's working for the recognition. But the second part is because any of you can do that. That's the point. That's why I'm sharing all this good news. It's so that you know that, hey, if Andy's doing that, what's different about him? You need to learn what he's doing differently. What his mindset, the difference of his mindset versus yours. Because you have an opportunity, if you choose to get the same result that he's getting or a greater result. Okay, but that's up to you. All right, let's move on. We're going into the trips. Orlando. We have 2 level 1 Orlando winners already that have already won the trip. Andy Drysdale and Andrew Meyer, the 2 Andys within the organization. Congrats, Mr. Meyer. Congrats, Mr. Drysdale. You are both going to Orlando, and we have a ton of time left to win that. So if you're not on pace, get on pace. If you don't know what it takes to qualify, ask your team leader, your office manager. That Orlando trip at the end of the year will be absolutely incredible, and people are already winning it. Way to go, fellas. And then we've got Costa Rica. You'll get a flyer in the next day or two from Chelsea Browner within the agency about where everybody stands towards Costa Rica. Folks, when you get that, open that puppy, look at it, print it out, get it to your spouse or significant other or guest. Make sure they know exactly where you are. 6 weeks left with this week included. 6 weeks left. Time is running out. All right, I want to move on to the Dynasty Field Recruiter bonus. Check this out. Each of these individuals field recruited somebody during the last few weeks to qualify for a $500 cash bonus. And now all 20 of those recruits are up, so you can't win any moving forward, but they got a field recruit in the qualification period. So Andy Drysdale, Brian Brickhouse, Paul Zimney, and Crystal Haynes all won $500 cold hard cash for bringing somebody amazing into our business that's written business and become a new field recruit producing agent. Congrats to Andy, Brian, Paul, and Crystal for taking advantage of that money and earning that. Way to go, guys. Okay, so folks, next week, I would encourage you to pull out something to write on. This is the time to take some notes. Next week is our Business Builder Week. And it kicks off when? Sunday, right? So we have a Sunday webinar kickoff with Ryan Drysdale, Brian Brickhouse, and myself. And so details on that have already been emailed, but you'll also get an email by the end of this week, by Friday, into business on Friday, from Brian Brickhouse, reaffirming and recommunicating the details of what the expectation is, the schedule, and how to prepare to have the biggest week of your career. This is a critical week for you in Q3, for you, for Costa Rica, for you, for Orlando, and for the agency as a whole, for everything that's important to us. And so we're going after a record. Write this down. We are asking you to commit to playing your part, to being part of a Zeal Financial Group 8-year record of most production in a week. And we're going after a huge number, 200,000 in new sales. And we're asking you to play your part in that. Every person counts, folks. Every person counts. So 3 things that I'm going to encourage you to do. Please jot these down. Number 1 is set a big goal that stretches you. A goal that makes you scared. A goal that makes your stomach churn. Because that's how you're going to grow. And if you fall short of that goal, you might still have the best week you've ever had in your career. So if you're not being stretched, you're not growing. You're not progressing. So set a goal that makes you nervous. And write that down. Here's what I'm going to ask of everybody. If you really are going to carry your weight, here's what I'm going to ask of you. If you've never greened out or written $5,000 in premium, I'm going to ask you to green out that week, next week. If you've never eagled, I'm going to ask you to write an eagle next week. That's $10,000 in GAP. If you've never hit a heritage eagle, for those of you that don't know what a heritage eagle is, it's $20,000 of insurance sold in a week. So if you've eagled before, but you've never hit a heritage eagle, I'm going to ask you to write a heritage eagle next week. If you do that, you carried your weight, you played your part, and you obviously had your best week of your career. And if you've written a heritage eagle before, I'm just going to ask you to write one app over a heritage eagle. It's as simple as that. And it's that commitment I'm asking each person. Everybody falls into one of those 4 categories. The second thing I'm going to encourage you to do is stay focused. Here's what I mean by that. Your results, your heritage eagle, your green out may not come till next Saturday or the following Monday or Thursday or Friday. Or you may have a huge day on Monday, this upcoming Monday, the first day of the true week. But regardless, I'm going to ask you to stay focused, because you never know when the results are going to follow through. But we are always rewarded in this business with consistent activity, always yields a future result that's desirable. But to get to that future result, you have to stay focused on the core activity with the right mindset to give yourself the best opportunity to get to that result, to earn that. But you can't turn off and then turn on. You can't really turn on and then turn off. You have to stay focused. That's number 2. Stay focused throughout the entire week and just focus on things you can control. Your attitude, what you're putting into your mind, what you're reading, when you're waking up, when you're starting your day, when you're stopping your day. The number 3 is purpose, purpose, purpose. Why is it important to you to hit the goal that you're setting for next week? What is your purpose? What is the meaning of it? You have to be able to track it. You have to be able to quantify it. You can't just say, so I can live a better life. Because guess what? The next morning you don't feel good, so you don't do anything. You have to quantify it and track it. It has to be a trackable purpose. There's psychology backing that up. So you just have to trust me and believe in me, because I've lived it, I've experienced it. You have to have a solid, profound purpose to why that goal that is going to stretch you, that you're committed to hitting, is so important. So figure that out, write it down. Okay, so now we're going to change gears. We're going to hear from some superstars. This will be more the technical piece of episode 2 here. The first person we're going to hear from is Ryan Drysdale on vision. So let's go ahead and hear from Ryan.
Hey, Zeal Nation, Ryan Drysdale here. Wednesday night about 11 p.m., just wrapping up a productive day here in Chicago. George asked me to do a quick video. I was actually just sitting here thinking, I was reflecting back 6.5 years on when I first started in this business, and I was thinking, man, there was a lot of nights I wasn't even home yet. I was, doing a late night appointment, on a summer's night after a barbecue. And I remember driving home some of those nights thinking, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to be a good salesman? Am I ever not going to have to knock on doors? Am I ever going to be able to stop grinding and get where I want to go in life? And then I got past that phase, and I got to a different part, and I started hiring people and working with people and training people, and I'd build this big team of people, and 2 months later it'd all be gone, and it'd be me and one other guy. And then I'd build it way back up again, and everybody would quit 2 months later, and it'd be me and one other guy. And I remember driving home some of those nights thinking, oh my goodness, am I ever going to be a team leader? Am I ever going to have a big team? Am I ever going to have an organization? Am I ever going to make an influence in somebody's life and be a leader? And am I ever going to be able to stop grinding? And then now, 6.5 years into the business, this part of the business finds me in Chicago building a huge leg and a big foundation, for my agency. And, some nights when I'm alone, I've been traveling away from my family every week this year, my wife and 4 kids. And sometimes when I'm lonely, I think, man, is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to have a big organization of people in Chicago and, 10, 20, 30, 40 offices across the nation like I want? And I just took a moment tonight to kind of look back on those 6.5 years, and I just want to say that wherever you're at in the business, it is 100% worth it to keep going. It is 100% worth it to go and grind every single day. And I've realized, looking at this year, it's been the hardest grind of my life this year. But I looked back at all the other parts of my life, and my relationship with my wife and my kids is better than it's ever been, and I am more engaged with them and more in love with them than I've ever been. My relationship with my friends is more meaningful, and I have more quality time with them. My faith and my religion and my belief is stronger than it's ever been. I've made more money this year, and more money than I could have ever imagined in any year. And I realize as I look back on that it is a direct result for me of setting a purpose and really understanding that purpose, and then just going and just grinding for that purpose. And I've realized that grind for that purpose has not only helped my business, but it's just helped me as a human, as a person, and it's made me better. And I believe that's what life's really about anyway. It's about finding out and figuring out how we can get better, and that purpose and grinding for that purpose is what does it. So I encourage you, when you wake up tomorrow morning, to figure out what your purpose is for the day, the week, the year, and then just go out and grind. And if we grind, we're going to finish this week off strong, Zeal. Let's finish strong.
Big Daddy Drysdale, man, you brought it. You brought it. Thank you for the message. I'm sure everybody took something away from that. Folks, the second person we're going to hear from happens to be Ryan's younger brother, Andy Drysdale again. You've heard this name. He's only been here a few weeks. But I asked Andy to put together how he is approaching referrals. So just a few weeks in the business, this guy already has hundreds of referrals he's collected from new clients. And so let's hear from and let's watch Andy actually do a mock referral approach. So he's going to walk you through that and actually show you what he says and how he connects with the prospect at the door when approaching a referral. So Andy, let's hear from you. Take notes on this. This is good stuff, folks.
Hello?
Hi, Ashley.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Andrew.
Hi.
Really nice to meet you.
You too.
You know Jamie and Lenny Francis?
I do.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, Jamie actually, she told me that you all were best friends here growing up.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was actually just visiting with Jamie and Lenny over at their house, and I promised them I'd stop by and see you.
Okay.
All right. So like I said, my name's Andrew.
Uh-huh.
Ashley, are you from here?
Yeah, I grew up here.
You grew up here with Jamie then?
Uh-huh.
Now, she said both of your little girls play softball here in town?
They do.
Yeah, they're at the ball field like every other night. I guess you're there with them?
Yep, that's pretty much our life.
Right. Well, actually, I didn't actually grow up here in Springfield. I actually grew up in Columbia, Missouri, and my wife's from Southeast Missouri.
Uh-huh.
We actually just moved to the area. We actually bought a home in Nixa,
Okay.
and that's where my wife and my 4 little kids live now. We really like the area so far. I guess you and Andy like it quite a bit here as well.
We do. The school districts are great.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. So we actually met our teachers for the first time yesterday, and the kids start school. I've got a little boy that's starting preschool, and then I've got a 9-year-old that will be in the 4th grade, and a little girl that's in 2nd grade. Now Jamie was telling me that you all have 3 kids. Is that right?
Yep, we have 3.
Awesome. Well, actually, so I told you my wife and I grew up elsewhere. I've actually been in the service for the past 10 years, and I just got out about a month ago, and I started with a company called Family Heritage.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of them?
I have not.
Yeah, they're a wonderful company, and I actually go and I talk to families about cancer, believe it or not.
Okay.
But when I was talking to Jamie and Lenny, I promised them I'd stop by and see you guys. I apologize, I only have a few minutes. You got a place we can sit down?
Yeah, sure. My husband's in the garage. Let's grab him.
Wonderful.
and
Wonderful.
and
I'd love to meet him.
yeah,
It's Andy, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Go ahead, come
Great.
in. We'll
Thank
go.
you.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. Now, if you really think about what Andy just did, you might even record this video and rewatch that a couple of times. But he was calm. He was relaxed. You saw his body language. He turned to the side. He took a step back. He was confident. He spoke slowly and clearly. He smiled. Did you notice the names he used? He gave them information about himself to get information about them. He talked to them about his real story, right? And then from there, he transitioned back into who referred him and said, I promised them I would come see you. So he put it more on that person, on his promise to that person. He's just following through on his commitment. Somebody wanted him to obviously come see that referral. And then he confidently asked for a place to sit down, broke eye contact, moved forward. It was that action that caused that prospect to react, to let him in the door. Andy, great job. Keep it up, my friend. And then third, last but not least, we're going to hear from Matt Hester. Matt Hester is going to talk to us for a couple of minutes. And by the way, Matt's out of the Southeast Missouri market, works with Brian Brickhouse. Never been in sales, never been in direct sales. Always worked either on the retail side or doing something different. And Matt's going to talk to you. He's been, he's been here, Matt's 9 months or so. But he's going to talk to you about how to recommit and refocus on your goals. And what he's done is taken a very simple goal and committed to it. And since he committed, he's achieved it every single week, which is awesome. And that's the whole point of this. And he's going to talk to you about how to keep it simple. So let's hear from Matt.
Hey guys, Matt Hester here, down in Jackson, Missouri. Just outside enjoying the wonderful weather. It's a gorgeous evening. I just wanted to speak my mind just a little bit. I just recently got back from Seattle. Got to bring my wife on our national trip and met some wonderful people there. So before I went to Nashville, my career was kind of slowing down just a little bit. Frustrations were kicking in, and just my mindset wasn't right. I mean, I did win the trip to Seattle, but it's just, my mind wasn't right at all. And after leaving Seattle, I kind of set a realistic goal for myself. Nothing crazy, nothing to hoot and holler about. But the goal was to write at least one app consistently and see how many weeks I could go of just writing an application. We're 5 weeks now after Seattle, and I have written an app at least 5 weeks in a row now, and actually it's going to be 6, and I'm excited about that. So I'm decided to step up my goal game and go back to the basics of just writing 2,500 a week, and just, you know, something realistic, something not to stress about and go crazy about, but to progress my career in a way that I know that I can control. So wish me luck, guys, and I recommend you guys maybe starting to do the same thing. Thanks for listening to me, and hopefully talk soon. See ya.
Matt, that is awesome, man. Thank you for the message. It's incredible that the last 5 weeks you've written something in every week. That's the most consistency in the 9 months you've been here. My friend, once you can do that, and it's a lot easier to add an extra app a week to that, because you have a foundation of commitment. What Matt has created, folks, is a no matter what commitment. He's writing business every week. Do you see how profound that is? And now he's doing that, and now he can add to that. It's like in stepping stones. So to go from producing an app every week to 2,500 is a lot easier than going from 0, several weeks with 0, to then jumping up to 2,500 and then back to 0. Do you see how that commitment and that goal and that change of his mindset is so profound? So if you really want to start to get on track, take your goal, simplify it, maybe even lower it, but then commit to it no matter what and make it happen and get the result of the goal every single week. You have the platform, you have the support, you have the product to do that. Now it's just a matter of setting the goal and committing to it. Matt, way to lead the way. Folks, we're going to wrap up, and I'm going to wrap up every episode with a passage from a book that's making an impact on me. My hope is that you see the impact it's making on me, and you go out and buy this puppy or consider getting it, and then start reading it and start changing your life and taking control again. So this is called Be Obsessed or Be Average. It's by Grant Cardone. And this guy has a ton of free YouTube content. You can listen to him as you drive to territory. He's just a positive, real dude. He was a drug addict by 25, went through therapy and rehab, and just was at the bottom of the bottom of the ditch or the barrel of his life, probably worse off than any of us have ever been. I'm sure some of us can relate to some of his story of just having a rough patch of life But this guy has climbed out of that. He has something like over 500 million in real estate he owns. He's done close to $750 million in real estate sales. His YouTube interviews are awesome. He talks about how he decided at 25 he was going to get into sales, but he hated sales. But he just needed something that was going to allow him to be in control and progress and keep his mind off of the drugs and the bad things. And he learned very early on that because he has ADHD and ADD and all these things that distract him, that if he wasn't always busy with something positive, then he would get into things that were negative or had a negative impact on his life. So he got into sales because it was something he could become obsessed about. And he hated it. But then what he did, he had a mindset shift. And he decided, you know what? Instead of hating it, how about I learn more about how to be good at it so I can love it? And then he did that. And that's what sparked this guy's change of his life from drug addict and rehab to one of the most wealthy people in the world, and now able to influence and make a positive impact on a lot of other people's lives. It started with learning to love sales and getting really good at it and becoming a student of sales. And I think that's really cool and applicable to us. So I just want to read a quick passage. He says, "You are the only one who has your dreams. I repeat, you are the only one who has your dreams." Steve Jobs said, "I want to put a dent in the universe." Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I have a dream." Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Bill Gates said, "Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose." And then Muhammad Ali said, "I am the greatest." So Grant goes on to say, he says, "You know these people and their words and their work because they were obsessed. They stayed obsessed long after others had dismissed them. Sure, people tried to get them just to enjoy life a little more. They were called crazy, arrogant, troublemakers, insane, wacky, whacked, fanatics, and more. In the end, though, they each changed the world. These people weren't superheroes. They didn't possess any special powers. They were just completely obsessed with what they did. This led to the unmistakable distinction, unreasonable efforts, and enduring commitment to go far beyond what any average person would do in order to make their dreams a reality. They didn't simply play in the game. They were obsessed with shaping it." So folks, for this week, in the month, in the year, I'd encourage you, be obsessed or be average. We're not average. You're not average. Let's act like it. Let's follow through on it. Here we go, Zeal. Z, zealous. An intensity or passion for life and achievement. E is for energy, positive energy brought into people's lives daily. A is for action. We don't talk, we act, we get it done. And L is for leadership. We are people on a mission to develop leaders. Thanks for your time. Let's have a great finish to the week, a super start to next week. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you then. Adios. See you, everybody. Bye.